All right, today's draft day. I'm very excited for it. And in this entry, I'm going to be making some predictions of things that I think may happen in the first round of tonight's draft. First off, the Buffalo Bills will not select Notre Dame quarterback Jimmy Clausen. The Bills need a quarterback, they need a leader of that team. That team's fallen apart, but it will not be Clausen. Personally, I love Clausen as a player. I think he's going to be a great quarterback. I think he's got all the intangibles. He's got the physical set to be able to do it. But for some reason, teams are very sour on him. There must be something that I don't know. Jimmy Clausen was a great quarterback at Notre Dame. His numbers were great, and there really, outside of the wide receivers, wasn't a lot of talent around him. There was no running game. The offensive line was poor, and he succeeded anyway. I think whatever team gets Clausen outside of the top 10 is getting an absolute playmaker, and they're getting a player that could play at a Pro Bowl level for years to come. My second prediction is that the Detroit Lions will select Oklahoma State offensive tackle Russell Okung with the second overall pick. I know there's a lot of chatter saying that Ndamukong Suh is going to be the pick. I could very well see that. I won't be surprised at all if Suh is the pick, but I think Okung makes a lot of sense for that team. Yes, they traded for Rob Sims, and he's a great guard. I think if they added Okung to that and they shifted Jeff Bacchus over to right tackle, that line would automatically become one of the best in the NFL. They're getting two upgrades for the price of one. They're getting a left tackle and a right tackle. Gosder Cherilus is not the answer at right tackle, and Matthew Stafford needs the protection. I think he'll get it. I think the Lions will surprise everyone and they'll select Okung. Moving on, Eric Berry will not be a top five pick. I think he's the absolute best player in the draft. Yes, better than Ndamukong Suh, but he's a safety and he will not go in the top five. There's a lot of people that say Kansas City, and today a lot of people are saying that Washington will take him, but I don't see it. I think if Okung is available, going against what I just said about the Lions, the Redskins will take him, and I think an offensive tackle will go to the Chiefs at number five. I think that'll be Brian Bulaga or Trent Williams. I think Barry falls out of circumstance. He will not escape the top 10, but he won't go in the top five. Next, the Oakland Raiders will draft Idaho offensive guard Mike Iupati. That's far too high for a guard to go. I don't care how good Iupati is, it's too high. Al Davis always surprises people on draft day, and I think he'll surprise again by taking a player that he truly doesn't need. Iupati is a physical specimen, which Al Davis loves, and could he be great? Yes. Could he be an all pro? Yes. But it's still too high for a guard to go. That being said, the Raiders will not do anything smart. They never do, and they'll select Iupati with the number 8 overall pick. Next, I predict three trades in the first round. I'm not sure who they'll be with, but I predict the Eagles to trade up for Texas safety Earl Thomas. I expect the Steelers to trade up if they trade Brendan Roethlisberger, at which point they'll take Jimmy Clausen. And I expect the Patriots to move up and try to get Jared Odrick from Penn State. Moving on, I think the San Francisco 49ers, if given the opportunity, will select Notre Dame's quarterback Jimmy Clausen with either the number 13 or number 17 pick in this draft. I think at 13 they'll probably try to get Joe Hayden, the cornerback out of Florida. He's a very popular mock pick there. Or if an offensive tackle falls, they'll pull him in automatically. The right tackle position is one on record that the San Francisco 49ers need badly, and although I wouldn't be surprised to see them go corner and tackle, I think Jimmy Clausen brings too much to the table. Alex Smith is on his way out in San Francisco. The front office, GM Scott McClowan, who was there for him and he was his biggest supporter, is now gone. And I feel like Alex Smith is alone in San Francisco and there's no one really there to support him. If Clausen falls, he could be the next Joe Montana. He could be the next Steve Young. And I feel like they would jump all over that. Next, I think two rush linebackers will go in the first round. There are far too many 3-4 teams in this league these days, and a rush linebacker has to go. Guys like Vernon Golston have busted, but at the same time, I feel like rush linebackers have to go in this draft. They rarely go in the first round, but I expect Texas's Sergio Kendall and TCU's Jerry Hughes to go in round one. Next, Ryan Matthews, the running back out of Fresno State, will not be a top 10 pick, or I'm sorry, a top 20 pick. Matthews is being hyped up to go to a lot of places such as Seattle in the top 20, but I just don't see it. He only had one fantastic year at Fresno State, and I don't think he'll go that high. Certainly, specifically because running backs, one, don't go that high, and two, Matthews doesn't have the skill set of a top 20 player. I think Houston could be very interested in taking him at 20, and he could fall all the way to San Diego at the bottom of the first round. Next, the Atlanta Falcons will trade up for Georgia Tech defensive end Derek Morgan. Derek Morgan is far and away the best defensive end in this class, and I think Atlanta is absolutely enamored with him. He went to school at Georgia Tech, which is right in the city of Atlanta. We've seen Atlanta take players from Georgia Tech before. Look at somebody like Keith Brooking. He was a hometown hero. He sold tons of jerseys, and he was a great player. Derek Morgan would be great staying in Atlanta, and I feel like if the Falcons have the opportunity to move up, they will absolutely do it if Derek Morgan makes it past Jacksonville at 10. Finally, I think I will like the New York Giants pick. Going on my previous videos, I'm not sure what they're going to do. It looks like Rolando McClain at this point. I still don't know. That being said, I'm giving full faith in this organization, and my final prediction is that I will love what Big Blue does, and I will be very happy tonight when we pick. Thanks.